The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes. Now in our 10th year of broadcasting, each week we continue talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support the needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we're going to be sharing some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today, we're going to start off the show talking about transportation services over at MEO, otherwise known as Maui Economic Opportunity. And we have with us the recently appointed Transportation Administrator, Jerry Lum.
Hi, Susie. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Recently appointed. That kind of sounds like you're new, but we know better, don't we?
New to the department, but not new to MEO.
Right. How many years have you got in at MEO now?
18?
I was going to say, you're pushing 20. You got to be.
18 years.
Wow. You going to make 20?
Am I going to make 20? That depends on a lot of variables.
Oh. Do you get a gold watch if you make it to 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not from them.
Not, yeah. A Tesla watch or something.
A Tesla watch. I gotcha. Okay. Well, we know as MEO is like all other nonprofits, we don't have money for gifts like that.
No.
But it's fun to think about.
It's the memories and the people you've helped and the staff that you've had and the programs you had to manage.
Yeah. And as you formerly were the director of the Department of Community Services.
Community Services, where we had 12 different programs. Now I have a single program, but yet it's a lot more complicated.
Beginning with the size of the staff.
Beginning with the size of the staff, previously I had 15, now I have about 100. And just trying to understand the whole program and how it works in the database and understanding different personnels, which I think I think I have a good grasp on that right now. But just understanding the whole system in general.
And it's quite a system because it serves several different types of clients.
Right. We got the human services side, and we got the paratransit side, and like you said, different clients, youth trans services, as well as those people that are going to dialysis.
Right. And I was reading, there was one thing that I don't think I had seen before when I was reviewing an item on the website where it talks about MEO transportation services provided via County of Maui grant appropriation, Alaho, Easter Seals, an adult daycare center, employment for the disabled, community dialysis, low income and economically challenged, Kalnoa Leisure Program, being the seniors and all the workshops they have, right? Kalima o Maui Program, Rural Shuttle, Senior Nutrition Program, Youth, and that's here as well as on Molokai. And then other transportation services include Head Start Program, Hospice of Maui, Independent Charter, Maui Memorial Medical Center, Medicaid, paratransit provider for Maui County, Emergency Operations Center. I mean, hello, what don't you cover?
I think that's the full gamut of transportation. Can't get any more definitive than that.
I mean, that tells you right there that almost anyone in Maui County qualifies under one of these.
Yes.
If you just take a look at the whole picture.
Right. From youths.
Right.
Up to seniors.
Right, up to and including.
Yeah.
The Kalnoa Leisure, I think that's one of the things that a friend of mine uses the bus to go to classes at Kalnoa. And what I think is so cool about that is that Kalnoa actually works with you to establish who needs rides and who doesn't.
Right. It's a very effective collaboration, trying to fill in those gaps or voids where people are unable to get to those classes.
And, yeah, so they take care of all the logistics and getting
Right.
it set up. The person just has to be ready at their home at whatever time they say the bus is coming.
Exactly. It's a complimentary type of service.
Yeah, that's really cool. Rather than getting phone calls from 160 random people
Right.
who all ask different questions and maybe don't use the bus for anything else but that.
Having coming from one agency, I think it's more centralized.
Sure.
It makes it easier for us to book those reservations.
Right. Now, the other thing is Kalnoa has some sort of a dinner program or something once a month or something that I think I heard of for seniors, and you also provide transportation for that.
Yes, we do.
I mean, it's like, really?
Well, I think the biggest transportation that we have is our annual Kapuna Luncheon, where 675 of these seniors partake in this half-day luncheon at the Grand Wailea. I think that's a good illustration of the coordination by club members, by people who are attending this function, to get them from where they are, their home or wherever they are picked up from, take them to their destination, have fun, and bring them back home again safely.
Right. And now that, if I can remember correctly how that works, some of these folks are picked up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right. They start 6 o'clock in the morning because it's not only them, it's other people along the same route going to the same destination.
Right. And
Trying to maximize the services.
And the event actually starts like at 9 o'clock or something.
10 o'clock.
Oh, is it 10? Okay.
Yeah,
So
10
well, there's activities going on when
Right.
they get there.
Right.
And then they have the lunch and the program, and then by 1 o'clock they're back on a bus,
Right.
Headed home.
Headed home. Yeah, full entertainment. You have your entertainment, numerous door prizes, so they all come back very happy.
Yeah. If it's not the food, it's the door prices.
Exactly.
Because they vary.
They do. It's not going to be it's going to be a non-political year, but however, you're still going to have politicians there,
Right.
and that's what they look for is the handout, the goodies.
Right. The goodie bags. They hand out. And a lot of the prizes are gift cards,
Right,
which
gift
are so
cards.
valuable to seniors.
To Longs, Ocean Center, Ace Hardware, all those things. So it comes in very handy
They're
for
all
them.
useful. Yeah, that's great. So a lot of your time, well, not necessarily your time specifically, but a lot of the time at transportation is figuring out the logistics for whatever event, whatever group, whatever assignment.
Exactly. Just that skillful coordination between the schedulers, the reservationists, dispatch, ultimately the drivers, and all for the clients.
Right, right. Hopefully it's invisible to the client. All they did is make the phone call that I need a bus,
Right.
and that's what they get.
So sometimes there are delays in traffic conditions, conditions of the vehicle. Maybe something went awry prior to the driver getting to the location. But nevertheless, we try to mitigate those things, have other drivers fill in those voids. Our on-time performance is about 91%.
Wow.
So,
And on time being within that half-hour window.
within that window, yes.
I think that's what I've heard is that's a half an hour we'll
half
be
an
there.
hour window.
You ask for a 10 o'clock pickup, we'll be there between 9:30 and 10, or
That's
9:45 and
basically-
10:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you've got a doctor's appointment, I think the key thing that I heard early on was make sure you've got plenty of time to
Right.
make that appointment so that
Exactly.
you don't end up there being late because you said, well, my appointment's at 9, so pick me up at 8:30.
The return might be a little problematic because doctors always run late. to
Right.
begin
Oh
with,
yeah. Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. So what do you do in a case like that? Are they supposed to call and say we're running late?
running late, they put on a will call type basis. We try to accommodate them within that window as well too.
I see. Okay. Because there's certain routes that you know are going to be busy every day, like from downtown, say to Kula.
Right.
And as I recall, one of the major pickup points is Maui Mall.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's having a problem with their appointment not being over in a reasonable time, there should be a bus somewhere close by to wherever that doctor is.
Right. They can pick up that person to take them to the appointment to be there on time.
Yeah.
So it's like putting a puzzle together. Making the pieces fit. Not forcing the pieces in.
Well, I'm good if the puzzle's got 20 pieces, but if
Right.
it's got 200,
Right.
hello, and that's what you're dealing with. This is the 200-piece puzzle.
I think we have an excellent staff of schedulers, reservationists, and dispatchers that can carefully coordinate this and make it look seamless to people outside the department.
Right. Well, and the person calling in just wants to know that they can be picked up and brought home,
Right, exactly.
that they get that round trip that they're
And
needing.
sometimes they're frustrated too over the phone because we're late or they were late at their from the doctor's office. The doctor was late, so it's just that active listening to calm them down and that just give them the reassurance that your bus will be there.
Right, right. I know a few years ago you made a major change over there with your programming for scheduling.
Right.
And if I recall correctly, that was something that the feds required.
It was a DOT requirement, Department of Transportation federal requirement, where the old vendor was not
Certified or something?
was not certified or did not meet the minimal requirements. And we have a new system now where we can actually track where the bus is and other things, other useful things for us, data reporting especially.
Okay. So now, when you say track where the bus is, that's between point A and B, not like a GPS. He's at the corner of Papa and whatever.
Well, it is.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Oh, it's...
We can actually pin it to where that person, the driver, or that bus is actually is.
So drivers can't fool around anymore.
Well,
Not that they did before.
No,
but...
it just checks and balances.
Yeah, right. And I would think one of the key elements of that whole thing is that there's so much time allotted for that trip.
Right.
And so when they make a
deviation.
Yeah.
Right. So we catch it before it escalates, before there's a domino effect.
Gotcha.
Because if you're late there, then all your runs subsequently thereafter is going to be delayed.
Right.
We're trying to mitigate that.
Yeah. And, to me, that's kind of fascinating because it's hard to imagine that somebody knows where you are every minute.
Mm-hmm. Like George Orwell, huh?
Yeah.
Big Brother.
There's something about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, when we're talking about the numbers of people that you're serving
Right.
with this program, you have to have that.
Right. It's just a maximization of what we have and what we're working with.
Right. Does that become a disciplinary issue sometimes?
Sometimes it does, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's handled through progressive actions, corrective actions.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, I know you, like everybody else, is looking for drivers.
Yes, we
That's
are.
a constant need
We are.
on the island.
Every week we're interviewing, finding the right candidate that would be the right fit for what we're looking for.
And it does take an interesting combination of people because this is not a high-paying, do it, get it done job.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it because now we're paying the prevailing wage right now.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
it's
come up.
there. Yeah, it has.
Okay.
So
But you're still looking for the person who cares.
right. We're looking for that one key element. It's not like a fixed route type of thing. We're looking for that overall person that has compassion, the ability to listen. Because most of our writers, want to talk because that's the only opportunity for them to speak. Although it's distracting to the driver, we do participate in that small conversation to make them feel comfortable.
Gotcha. It's kind of like a bartender that doesn't serve drinks.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's the person you can confide in and know it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Because they don't know you.
Right.
On that note, we're going to take a short break.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, your weekly radio show where we talk story with our different directors from our agencies that and find out what's happening in their world. And the first part of the show, we're talking with Jerry Lum, who's the Transportation Administrator.
That's correct.
Administrator.
Newly,
yes. 2 months into the job, I think he's covered it pretty well. I think having that background, you've heard a lot about transportation over the last 18 years.
Yes, I have.
So it's not like you're a total stranger to the whole thing.
No, working it from this end is a lot different.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's an eye opener, literally.
I'm sure. Well, and the community services program that you were the director of, there were a lot of times when you led people to use the transportation system.
Exactly. For our clients, especially those who were formerly incarcerated, they have no reliable transportation. They meet the income criteria, so we would often refer them to the low-income ride program to go to and from work.
So you've got that brings up a good point, which we've not touched on. As reading through all the different programs you have, it sounds like there's something here for everybody, but there are some criteria,
right?
And you got income levels, disabilities.
Right.
Give me kind of a rundown on those.
So to ride the bus, there's a simple form, and you don't need to know your exact income level, annual income. It is in a chart. All you have to do is circle the one you think that it is. Sometimes we would ask for documentation, pay stubs, your Social Security award letter, or your retirement, or whatever income you have coming into that household. We need copies of, and 90% of the time, that those people will meet the income guidelines.
Gotcha. And that's age irrelevant.
Age is irrelevant, yes.
Okay. Now, but sometimes there are some people who maybe have a better income or a reasonable retirement, but have a disability that comes along with being a senior citizen,
right?
That they cannot drive.
Exactly, and that disability is based upon a physician's report.
Oh, okay. So it can be the eyesight, can be hearing,
right.
Can be physical, legs, arms, whatever.
Disability, yeah.
Yeah.
So long as certified by physician, that's all we require.
I see. Okay. What have I missed? I know I missed something that I wanted to talk about. What have I missed? Tell me what you want to talk about.
Well,
you got 6 minutes.
I got 6 minutes. Well, let's make it good. LIHEAP's coming up. Right?
Oh, we're back to community service.
Yeah, we're back to community service.
But that's a good point. We do need to talk about that because June is right around the corner.
June is right around the corner. Low income home energy assistance program targets those people that falls within guidelines as well too. We can help in two components. We can help with a credit for your electric bill or your gas bill, one or the other, not both. And we can help with a disconnection notice. So if you have a disconnection notice, either from the Maui Electric or from Hawaii Gas, we can avert that disconnection. If you go to a website, it gives you the criteria, the income guidelines. You can bring it to our office at 99 Mahalani with your disconnection notice and all relevant information that's in those guidelines, and we can help you avert your utility to being shut off.
Okay, so to download that, we're talking about going to meoinc.org.
.org, community services, It will switch you over to the 12 programs that we have. You're going to click on to LIHEAP.
That's LIHEAP.
That's correct.
Okay. And June is the month to sign. It's the whole month of June you can sign
Whole
up.
month of June for your credit,
Okay.
but we taking your disconnection notice
Oh, all the time.
all the time.
I see. Okay. So if that's in the work, well, yeah, obviously you
Right.
can't wait.
Right, you can't wait.
Right. If you've got a disconnection notice, get over to MEO
Immediately.
at 99 Mahalani Street and Community Services and talk to someone there. So now LIHEAP, that's a service. When you're talking about gas and electric, that's for the household.
Household.
So you're looking at the incomes for everyone in that household.
Everyone that falls under that one roof. Let me give you an example. You might have a 2-story home, right? 1 meter, totally unrelated people living upstairs versus downstairs. So the whole complex in that 2-story can apply for LIHEAP. They have to. One person would apply with this, however many members you have in a household.
Okay. Do they each have to come in?
Individually, yes. We
Okay.
need information, date of birth, social security numbers.
Okay. So one
Photo
person
ID.
can't round up information from everybody
No.
and just bring it in as a package.
All adults must come in and sign.
Okay.
And children 5 and under must have a birth certificate.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then the amount of credit that somebody gets, kind of quickly give us a...
Amount of credit
how
is
that
based
works.
upon variables: income, total household size, electricity usage, and how much the state has.
Oh,
Last
okay.
year's average credit, 675.
Wow.
Household size of 4,
4. Okay.
$675.
Yeah. I know we have some of the folks that live in our apartments who get the credit.
Right.
And sometimes that takes them like 8 months to use it up.
Depending upon, yes.
On how much they
how
use.
much electricity is consumed in that household, yes.
Yeah. That's a great help for those folks because they are on definitely low income, fixed income.
Right. And your members, as well as all the senior complexes, they're pretty frugal, by
Oh, yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
So that will take them 8 to 12 months
Right.
for that credit to be exhausted.
Yeah, because they don't have all the fancy gadgets and things
No,
that other
nothing.
people have.
Game Boy and bigger TVs.
And they don't spend all day sitting there watching it and
Right.
have lights on in every room. Well,
Exactly.
they don't have that many rooms, but
Yeah. Well, for those people, they were taught from at an early age, always turn off the lights when not in
Right.
use, right?
right. And I'm picking up on that. My dad used to do that. He'd go around the house after we'd settle down for the evening
And turn off the
and
lights.
turn off all these lights and say, "We're just here. We're watching TV for the last hour before you go to bed.
Right.
You don't need all these other lights on."
Exactly.
And I find myself doing that. It's like, why am I doing that? Well, I guess it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It does help.
It does help. Yes, it does help. Keeps that monthly electric bill down to some kind of reasonable
Manageable,
number. Yeah. Okay, so that's the month of June, starting right away on June 1st.
June 1st, June 3rd, I believe, is a Monday.
Oh, okay.
June 1st is Saturday.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
And hours?
Hours Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 to 12, and then 2 to 4. Wednesdays only because we want to accommodate the working people. 10 to 2, and from 3 to 6
Oh, okay. So they can come in after work.
after work.
Don't have to take time off to do
Nope.
it. Wonderful. Okay. Hey, you covered both areas.
Both the programs.
Let's and my hat's off to you for jumping over when they ask you if you wanted to make a change,
Yes, we can.
or I think they ask you.
Yeah, they did.
And it sounds like you're enjoying the challenge.
I am.
That's-
I'm really enjoying my new
Yeah.
position.
And for all the years I've known you, you've always enjoyed a
Yep.
challenge. You get bored.
I get bored.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, you're not going to get bored
No,
at
yeah.
trans.
Definitely not.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you,
and
Susie.
we're sorry Harry couldn't be here. He was going to join us, but he's out handling a call.
Put out the fires.
So
literally.
he's putting out the fires. Okay, that's what happens some days. Any last comments?
No, not at all.
Okay. Phone calls if you want more information on trans services.
877-7651.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Have a good day, Jerry.
You too now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, that was exciting. Yeah? Do you guys up at Job Corps have some folks that come up by bus?
No, we actually have our own transportation.
Oh, you do?
That we provide to the center.
Oh, okay. We've got Marshall Norman and Jim Cusick.
Yep,
Cusick, who's the admission counselor, and Marshall is the Maui
Site director.
site director. All these different places have all different titles for things.
And every ED has a different title as
That's
well,
true.
too, right?
That's
So-
true. You're right. You know, I was thinking about when we talked. You were on a couple months ago.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm gagging. When I listened to the Economic Outlook last Thursday at a luncheon, the SBA luncheon, and they're talking about a slowdown is happening. And, you know, one of the first things you think about when they start talking about economic slowdown is people losing jobs. First ones to lose jobs are those freshly employed or in the lower income categories. And I know that at one time we had talked about how you were looking for students because everybody was hired.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we experience at times, especially during these, we're at counties at full employment right now, and everybody's kind of waiting for that economic turn. Hey, when is it going to finally, start cooling off and settling down a little bit as well too? And so what we find is that a lot of people will go out there and they might not look to higher education and training to make them more employable. They think, hey, everybody's hiring right now. I'll go out, I'll get a job, it will meet my needs for right now and then, but then it's not necessarily looking long term as far as those economic cycles, that it's eventually going to slow down. And what we know is that those individuals with skills, with higher levels of education and training, those are the ones that are more likely to be able to weather that storm during an economic slowdown or just a cooling down of the workforce economy.
So your admissions will rise as people realize they're not ready for this.
Yes, but to add to that, we always talk about continuous learning and stacking the knowledge in a particular trade, or even looking to expand into several trades at Job Corps, because that just increases the marketability to a person once they go out and get a job. They have more deeper knowledge, whether it be in facilities maintenance or culinary arts or office administration or hotel and hospitality. Those are the three trades that we offer.
Right.
And, listening to MEO earlier on the other segment, there's always going to be people that meet that low income standard, just by the reality of here in Hawaii or across the nation. So it was interesting to hear that, and we want to accommodate and level the playing field for those that are somewhat less fortunate. So for an individual, just to get it out there, in most zip codes in Maui or across the islands, Hawaiian Islands, the Department of Labor establishes the low-income standard for an individual who's 18 and has no dependents at roughly $13,900, give or take a few $100s. So it's a low amount of money. But, also, he was talking about people that qualify for MEO sometimes have disability. So those that are on disability income or SSI, that income isn't counted. Right? So oftentimes, if they're not working and they're on disability, they will qualify. For household income, we kind of go off those same standards that he was talking about. We have to account for everybody that is paying taxes in a household. So, mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters could also account for what is the actual household income. So, I think this isn't totally accurate, but like a family of four, to meet the low income standard in Hawaii, I believe it's $38,000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that is a number. That's the biggest chore for me to get my applicants kind of covered on that qualification, is meeting the low income standard. But if those students or their families are receiving any help from the government, whether it's free food at lunch, lunch tickets, or SNAP letters, or
Right.
food stamps, they automatically qualify for the income part.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so there's always going to be a need to service that low income segment of the population, and we want to really level the playing field for those that are
Right.
wanting more training, wanting to further their education, and hoping to open up doors to some great opportunities once they finish at Job Corps.
And as Jim said, and as he started his conversation, skills, education, and training, it's always relevant, regardless of what's happening in the economy, regardless of whether it's full unemployment and unemployment's at hovering around 2%. Skills and training and education, it's always going to be relevant, and we want our students to become lifelong learners and really see their time at Job Corps as being that first stepping stone into a life of learning and into a career pathway where they will always experience opportunity, growth, and purpose too. So it really is about marketing all the services that Job Corps can do that can help individuals succeed, not just for the here and now, but also for the then and the not yet.
Yeah, I mean, we deal with an age group that wants instant satisfaction too. Like,
Right.
I want my Instagram following to go to 1 million now, and I can make money and be the next supreme influencer, supreme patty. So, but what I, as the admissions counselor, kind of have to slow their roll, and I'm like, look, the time spent at Job Corps is up to about a 24-month program. It is pennies in the jar of life when it comes to that time frame. They will look back on their experience, and it'll go by really quickly. And that is the idea, is to increase that knowledge base and that long-term effort to position yourself for a really responsible life that contributes to the community and gives you responsibilities, because those responsibilities ultimately equal your freedom when you can manage those responsibilities in a good way. So we do talk about, especially in the first couple months, it's like, let's think about long-term plans here. Right? Like, you're 18, 19. Where do you see yourself at 25, 26, 27, or 30? Let's think about where you want to be then, not like what you want to do next weekend.
Right. Is that hard to get them in that frame of mind?
With some, and some who might be listening, it's harder to crack than others. But yes, I mean, hey, I've been really impressed with the struggle too.
Yeah.
I mean, I was that age before, and it's a new experience, and there's new pressures and new challenges, and it can be difficult.
You're young enough to remember those.
But then again, there's some kids that really get into the program, and they surprise me. They hit the ground running, and they just start, chomping away at their responsibilities. They're earning their GED or their diploma and finishing their trade up quickly, going to advanced training on the mainland, and really motivated to improve their lives. So that's really exciting to see.
This kind of opens a whole new door that I guess I'd never really thought about when it came to Job Corps, and that was the person who I've always thought of it as a person who either finished high school or didn't finish high school because they just didn't know what they wanted to do, had no thoughts about tomorrow, and then somebody brought up Job Corps, and they went and found out, and here they go. Yeah. But we're talking about people who have gone out and gotten a job, low-paying job, entry level, which that's out there. And if they're living at home, chances are it's not a big deal. You are adding to the economy at home. But at some point, do they realize they could do a lot more after they're in a job like that for a little while?
Yeah, I think so too. There's certain limitations to a minimum wage job, kind of. I talk about in the interviews or in some of my initial pitches that we have a little chart that says to really be a independent living individual in the state of Hawaii, at minimum, that person needs to make about $34,000, right? And
Right.
$10.10 isn't going to get you
Right.
there. It will not get you a roommate situation. It's a room to rent is roughly $800 to $1,000.
There's your paycheck,
and that is your whole entire paycheck at $10.10. You have to be living at home or being having a support system outside of your work
right.
to make it at that level. So yeah, we encourage higher wages and trying to improve your marketability to earn the 15 to 20 to low 30s
Right.
per hour, and that will really set somebody up for a really nice
Right.
good lifestyle
Yeah.
that can contribute to their community and or contribute to their family home or
Yeah. On that note, we have to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, your weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out what's happening in their world, which is a portion of our world. And I think everybody's affected by all of our actions, even though it's not maybe directly. But I love the way you guys came in and you kind of piggybacked on what Jerry was talking about, because transportation is such a big part of everything we do because we're so spread out here on Maui. Anyway, getting back to Job Corps, it's like I said earlier, it was kind of eye-opening to me to think, okay, here's some people who are not the typical person that we've been talking about, who just doesn't know what they want, doesn't care necessarily what they want, but they've maybe gotten a job and now they've been into it 6 months, a year, whatever, and they see it doesn't go anywhere. And they can come and talk to you folks about,
Sure.
do I qualify, and what it takes to get in and where it can lead them.
Sure. Job Corps is a premier educational and vocational training center. So we do offer GED and diploma services for those that need that requirement. But we also, provide a ton of services for those that already have their high school diploma. So they can come in and focus on a trade that we offer and really increase their knowledge within that trade. There's several places that we like to send our students after they complete either their GED or diploma and a trade, which is, one is the military. The military considers Job Corps equivalent to like 1 year of college to get into. So we can help fast track them into one of those branches of the military. We can also send those kids who want more training, and more knowledge base in their trade to advanced training centers on the mainland, where the Job Corps does pay for them to live, pays to feed them, all their medical is taken care of, and they get really expert training in their field, which can open up huge opportunities on the mainland for them. And we can also send them to college. If they're interested and they qualify and they want to get into college, we can send them. We have a what is it, MOU?
articulation agreement.
An articulation agreement with Maui Community College, and they can go earn their associate's degree on the Job Corps
Wow.
for 2 years, right? So we pay for their 12 credits every semester. If they live on campus, we pay for their food and their shelter and their medical and their transportation to and from college. So the opportunities are more than just getting your diploma and getting a trade training program done. It can open up a ton of doors, advancing your education. And Marshall is a wealth of knowledge, and he's hugely connected and can do a ton of research on what grants and Pell Grants might be available to you after your associate's degree is done, to reveal, some of those monies that you might be warranted.
Right.
So we can make the buck go very far for a qualified individual, beyond just getting their diplomas, So that, I think, complements your question as to, there's a ton of opportunity at Job Corps for the right individual who's motivated.
Really? It's a huge basket you guys have got up there.
Yeah, and it really just takes an individual coming into our program with a little bit of an open mind. And yeah, we want them to have passion and vision, and we want to see some drive, but we also know that that's going to come in time. But if they're an individual that's willing to participate, has an open mind as far as career planning and getting established on an appropriate career pathway, and it's not just a small career driveway. It's a pathway. We are planning your steps to really start you on a successful pathway in your life. Then we can have some very, very successful graduates. And as Jim was talking about, we really want to see students going into one of 6 career tracks. We want to see them working really, really hard at Job Corps and finding a high level of employment. We want to get them paired up if they're interested in the military or they would succeed in the armed forces, getting them, trained and tested in ASVAB, and then getting them on to meet with a recruiter. If they're interested in higher education, then getting them looking at college, getting them college preparatory programs, and then gearing them up. Even if they've been to college before and have some college experience, we'll come into the Job Corps program. Let's look at that. Let's retool you and let's send you out there so you can be successful. As Jim mentioned, we do have housing, room and board would be provided for the students that are able to continue college within the Job Corps program, so it presents a really, really good environment for them. And then we also want students, if they're interested too, going and signing up with one of our labor unions or our apprenticeship programs. Those are excellent opportunities and definitely in need for new young apprentices right now. We want to be able to get students looking at apprenticeship programs and getting them started on that idea of, wow, you could have a very, very successful career as a journeyman in all the different trade areas. And so we're working really closely with some of our unions and then also the apprenticeship coordinators at University of Hawaii Maui College to get students on those tracks. The other one too, as Jim mentioned, was Job Corps' advanced training program located at different Job Corps centers on the U.S. mainland. Our advanced training programs that we're seeing students go into range anywhere from advanced culinary arts to advanced hospitality and customer service fields, or to even fields in overhead linesman and construction. Automotive repair, too, is a really popular one. So these are all the different opportunities that are available to students when they come into the Job Corps program. It sounds just like so much. Hey, I just came into Job Corps. All I really needed to do was, just complete a few more credits on my high school diploma, and then I just want to get a trade, and then I wanted to get out. But it's a little bit more complex to that because we really, really want each student that comes into our door to be as successful as they can possibly be. We want them to leave our center and our program where they can be real self-advocates for themselves and for their family. And we want to see them succeed, and succeed not because of anything that we did, but really because of the effort that they put forth to really help get themselves out there. a lot of it is just kind of dispelling. It's not, hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, come on, let's go. No, as we were talking about, we all work together in community. So we utilize our networks that we have at Job Corps with other nonprofit partners, with other service providers throughout Maui County to really encourage these individuals and these young adults to help them become the most successful individuals that they possibly can be, and we'll give any assistance and any opportunity that we can to help these young adults really succeed.
I think another thing to add to that is the custom curriculum that we have and the trades that we have available to the students here on Maui and Waimanalo, because they're all geared towards the end goal of opportunity at the end, right? So, facilities maintenance, culinary arts, office administration, and hospitality and lodging all support a wealth of jobs for these students at the end of their program. So that has a lot to do with it too. We're relevant.
Do you find that a lot of the folks that come and just do kind of the first interview with you have no concept of what's possible for them?
Yeah. Well, not to really throw the whip down, but I don't think it's the kids' fault.
Okay.
At a large portion of the time. It's them falling through the cracks in the public school system, being passed at a D average, and then they get overwhelmed in their junior year and they want to give up. And or the family life might not be the most supportive, and there might be distractions at home. And sometimes that can be a rough reality, and a new page and a new chapter is written once they get to Job Corps, because it is such a safe environment and a positive learning environment, and it gives them a great fresh runway to take off. And a lot of the times I do think it's, they just need an opportunity to get in gear for themselves.
And what you're presenting is like it's a chance to turn the page.
Yeah,
and start fresh.
It's not the end all, It's a really positive young person college campus environment, and we realize that sometimes traditional high school just isn't a good fit for some people, and they want a more relevant, engaging kind of curriculum to grasp onto. So a lot of the times our curriculum is set up a little bit of education throughout the day, and then hands-on training in a trade that's less monotonous during the day. And I think it's a nice blend that keeps the kids motivated and occupied.
Terrific. I can't say enough good about your program. You
have to come up to a tour.
I was up there the other night for something right down the street from you.
Oh, good.
And I'm not going to make it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about
Speaking
that.
of, we have tours
breakfast.
every Thursday at 10 a.m. It's like a free-for-all. You can come and see the campus in action, see all the students in trade and in their academics, and then we treat you to the campus lunch at the end, and it blows the public school food away. So it's pretty tasty.
Well, because you're training these folks in how to create the culinary special.
This is true. When we get to eat with the culinary department, it is a real treat.
Yeah. And it's a neat campus. I mean, I was right there at the end of the road where the kind of little guardhouse is.
Yeah, we're up at Manaolu Seminary, Manaolu College. So we are stewards of that campus, and we take a lot of pride in the facility that we've been given, and we really want it to continue to be not only a place of serenity, but also a place of education, of learning, of growth, and of safety too. So that's a really big part of looking at, not only it's this, it's this beautiful campus up on Baldwin Avenue, but it really is. It's Manaolu. It's something that we hold very sacred, and we're very, very proud to be on that campus, and we're stewards of that area. So it's one of those things that we are able to, I feel like, really impact the community with the type of programming that we offer at Job Corps. And we do a lot for the students, but we serve so many different people at Job Corps. Not only do we serve income eligible young adults, but we also serve employers. And we wanted to ensure that employers have a qualified workforce out there. And we do get employers coming to us and saying, hey, this is what my employment needs are. How can Job Corps assist? Well, that's really encouraging, because then we get to work with these employers and we get to create some training programs that can really help meet their needs, and then cultivate employees that can go hand in hand with that employer. One of our program, Work-Based Learning, is a 6-week internship that all the students do with local employers. And so some employers will come and they'll have these type of training needs or employment needs that they want. And our Work-Based Learning program is an excellent opportunity to see if we can cultivate a student to help meet that employer's needs, training needs, but then also for the employer to participate in the training function and the social service aspect of it, but then also look at getting a qualified candidate for their individual. So it's a real reciprocal learning process. And I think some of the employers that have been most engaged in our work-based learning program have been really, really satisfied with the results. And there's no obligation to hire a student at the end of work-based learning. We just encourage the students that we encourage the employer that, hey, if you find that gem student on their internship, consider hiring them, and
Right.
consider hiring them at a very high and competitive wage. But it's all about, trying to meet that employer's needs, trying to get what's best for the student. So we really have a win-win situation for everybody.
That's what I like. Win-win. We're running out of time, so last minute thoughts.
Marshall triggered something. Like, if you're local on Maui and you need yard work done or any other chores around the house, you can hire the Job Corps kids on the weekends. They love to work. They're great workers. And, you just have to pick them up and feed them a good lunch and bring them back to campus unharmed.
Really?
But yeah, they're great workers, and the kids love to work. So it's a way for them to make extra money.
Cool.
And we love that. But if you guys are interested, anybody's interested in talking to me about Job Corps, you can reach me at 808-579-6506. And my name's Jim Cusick.
And I'm Marshall Norman, Site Director with Hawaii Job Corps Maui.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Susie.
That's a fast half hour. Yeah,
Thank
but
you, Susie.
I think we got some interesting information out today. Usually we have a student or two, and we kind of get wrapped up with what they're doing, and that's good. But this was kind of opening the door to other possibilities for people that maybe just haven't thought about it. I when I first started talking to you guys, it was like, it's the best kept secret on the island.
Yeah, and we're trying to make sure that it's not a secret, that everybody knows about the good news of Job Corps, what we do, and the impact that we have on individuals' life. The motto of Job Corps really is careers begin here, and that's what we want to see, is that a student coming into our program, careers begin here.
Right.
We also look at that with our employees as well, too, in their development, that a lot come into Job Corps. It's an awesome place to work and also begin your career at or continue your career on. So careers begin here, motto of Job Corps. Once again, give Jim a call, 808-579-6506. Tours are every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m.
Do they need to call and make a reservation for that?
I'd like a head count for
Okay.
the kitchen,
Gotcha.
so we can accommodate for
Cool.
the lunch plates.
Thank you so very much, Jim and Marshall. Appreciate the conversation today. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Please give them a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Pacific Source has been our sponsor from day one, and we thank them for that ongoing support. And to you, our listeners, we thank you for the responses our agencies get from you regarding the activities talked about on this program. I've got to cut it short. I've got to say mahalo. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.